They said it was only a camp, but behind the barbed wire, it was hell itself. People stepped off the train and smelled something strange, a thick, oily smoke that burned their throats. They didn't know. It was human flesh. Men, women, children, stripped, shaved, numbered. Mothers clutched their babies until soldiers tore them away. A guard whispered, "Showers ahead," but the pipes didn't carry water. The doors sealed. Zyklon B gas hissed from the ceiling. Screams lasted less than a minute, then silence. Bodies piled upon bodies, blue lips, open eyes frozen in terror. Outside, other prisoners dragged the dead away. Flames roared day and night. The smell, unforgettable. Ash drifted through the sky like gray snow. Some said the sun never shone again. Hitler called it the final solution. To erase a people, not only their lives, but their names, their memories, their very existence. The birth of hate. Thoughtful. It did not begin with fire. It began with ideas. In beer halls and books, in speeches that poisoned millions. Hitler's words became weapons. The Jews are the problem. Germany must be pure again. He blamed a people for a nation's pain, for its loss, for its hunger, for its humiliation. And slowly, ordinary men began to believe him. Teachers taught hate. Priests preached silence. Neighbors looked away. That was how genocide began. Not with bombs, but with belief, the machinery of death. By 1939, the idea had become law. Jews were forbidden to work, to own, to marry. Then came the ghettos, cities sealed off by walls and disease. Families starved while soldiers watched. And then, the trains. Long, endless trains, each filled with cattle cars packed with people, doctors, teachers, musicians, children, all marked for disappearance. The camps were built with German precision. Barbed wire, watchtowers, chimneys. Names like Auschwitz, Treblinka, Sobibor. Each a perfect machine designed for one purpose: death. When the doors opened, the cold cut like knives. SS officers stood in lines, clipboards in hand. Men to the left, women and children to the right. It happened in seconds. Families broken forever. Those sent to work had their hair shaved, their names replaced by numbers. Others were led to buildings marked bathhouse. They were told to undress, to hang their clothes neatly, to remember the number on the hook. The doors closed. The hiss began. Zyklon B gas fell like invisible rain. Screams rose, faded, and vanished. When the doors reopened, silence walked out. Fire and ash. Outside, other prisoners, called the Sonderkommando, dragged the bodies away. They worked under threat of death, forced to burn their own people. Bodies were stacked, stripped of gold teeth and hair, then pushed into furnaces that roared without end. Day and night, flames painted the sky red. Ash fell over the camp like snow. One survivor said, the sun didn't shine there. It burned. Even the river near Auschwitz turned grey with remains. And still, trains kept coming. Science turned evil. In another part of the camp, doctors wore white coats, not to heal, but to destroy. Josef Mengele, known as the Angel of Death, smiled as he chose twins for his experiments. He injected them with chemicals, sewed their veins together, and compared organs after killing one. He called it science. It was horror. Others were frozen alive to test human endurance. Some were injected with gasoline, salt water, or bacteria. Women were sterilized without anesthesia. Men were castrated with acid. The screams from those rooms were unlike any other, not of fear, but of disbelief. They could not believe such cruelty existed. Desperation and collapse. As the war turned, Hitler's empire began to crumble. But the killing didn't stop. It accelerated. He ordered the destruction of the camps to hide his crimes. Thousands of prisoners were forced on death marches, barefoot, starving, freezing, walking hundreds of kilometers. Anyone who fell was shot. The snow turned red. By 1945, the world was closing in. The SS burned documents, bombed buildings, and dug up graves to erase the evidence. But ash cannot hide the truth. The wind carried it. The soil kept it. Liberation. When Allied soldiers finally reached the camps, they stalked in silence. They had seen battle, death, and destruction, but nothing like this. Piles of bodies. Survivors barely alive, eyes sunken, hands shaking. One whispered, "We thought you would never come." Gates swung open, but freedom felt hollow. The world was stunned and ashamed. Closing words. 6 million Jews. Millions of others. Roma, Poles, prisoners, the disabled. All murdered in the name of perfection. This was not a war. This was a genocide, the darkest reflection of what humanity can become. And yet we must remember, because forgetting would be the second death. We have the